One, two, one, two, one, two. Is that loud enough? I think so. All right. So, here we are. Once again. Haven't really made a video in a while. I feel like this is about to be like a mini decompression / therapy session almost, because I feel like I have found myself feeling a little discouraged. And it's hard to really put it into words right, because, I come from a Christian background, so, you'll hear a lot of things such as like, oh, well, give your anxieties to the Lord. Oh, if you're discouraged, like trust in the Lord. Or have you been praying? Have you been digging in the Word? Have you been reading? And the answer to that is like, no, I haven't, as I should be, right? And I'm really tempted to just be like, oh yeah, open up the Bible and maybe it'll have a word of advice for me that I need in this moment. Or maybe it's just something I'm reading or whatever. Maybe it has nothing to do with my current dilemma, situation, whatever it is. But I feel like, as I came home and I read. And I read in Romans, and it was just Paul talking about sin and about the law, right? The law, we have to follow the law, we have to follow this, or there's issues, right, with the people following the law, but then we're talking about like circumcision, uncircumcision, like all this stuff like that, and like, does this really matter? Does God is more than the law, but that doesn't dismiss the law about what's okay and what's not okay. Anyways, that has nothing really to do with my current dilemma of feeling discouraged or anxious or whatever, but it does bring to mind that I think that there are things, I think everything is tied together. And the position of our hearts and what's going on in our hearts, if something is affecting our heart, I think there's going to be other things that are affecting our hearts too. Like, it's like if you, like a good example would be a dam, right? You have a dam going, there's holding back water, right? But if you have like a little crack in it, eventually other cracks and things are going to form. So it's kind of one of those things we have to be on the lookout as a Christian, because yeah, I may feel like everything's fine and dandy, maybe there are things in our hearts that aren't as fine and dandy, and this is one of those cracks that are showing for me, where I'm like, oh man, I feel discouraged, but it's like, all right, we'll get motivated, go do these. I talk to people about shoots, schedule shoots and all that. But then there's fear that comes into play of like, oh, I feel like I'm not even as good as other photographers should be. I don't, what do I do about that? Or there's fear of, well, I have to take time off my actual job to be able to do this other stuff. So if I'm going to take time off of work to do that, then I need money. But maybe I don't value my services as high as I need to make the money I need to make, etc., etc. There's a whole slew of things that can go into all of that. And I feel God calling me to a leap. But what does that leap look like? I don't know. So stay tuned for that. And what does that leap mean? Does that mean photography stuff? Does that mean doing something completely different? Does that mean, I don't know. But what I do know is that I thoroughly enjoy doing stuff like this, especially when I can build up my motivation to do it, right? When I'm feeling, and it's like to motivate myself and to push myself further. And what's been amazing is actually having people in my life who push me to do that. My girlfriend, Betsabe, she's constantly pushing me forward to be a better man, to be a better photographer, to be a better manager at a bar, like it's everything, and I hope I encourage her to do the same. And so, I would love to just find a job where all I'm doing is taking photos, but there's no stress of the taking photos and all this stuff like that, right? And this happy medium of all of these things. And yet, it's it's not really how the world works. I mean, God provides different circumstances and different things for you to do, and He provides different opportunities as are per His timing. But yeah, right now I am feeling a lot of emotions. I feel frustration, I feel confusion, I feel anxiety, uh, as an emotion, but also just as like a psychological state. And it's not because I'm not like right now. I'm not in a spot where I'm like paying, like I can't pay my bills or anything like that. Like what I need has been provided for, and I'm able to provide, for what I need, and I work a job that enables me to do so. But I think more of that anxiety and tension comes from not fully understanding my purpose, and that come like in this season at least, right? I feel like our purpose changes season by season, our purpose in this moment, right? Our purpose in this time of our lives, and I feel in a weird spot where kind of like how I felt when I got out of college, where I was like, what am I doing? What do I do? That's kind of where I'm at. And it's really weird because, I've been doing something else for so long that as I'm hopping back into being more creative, digitally creative, and understanding what that world looks like, it's pretty scary. So yeah, I'm figuring out along the way, and there are some leaps of faith that need to be taken. I don't know exactly what those are, but I want to just put this out there that I am looking and open for opportunities. One thing, and I don't know if any of you do this too, but I know there's people Christians who will pray for open doors, right? Like, Lord, give me an open door, show me a sign, show me this. For me, I pray for closed doors, right? I would rather just see an opportunity and be like, nope, that's not going to happen, right? I do that quite a bit. But that also puts me in a mentality of like, oh, that looks like it might be a closed door, so I'm not even going to consider that, right? And I think there's times where God calls us to push, to stretch ourselves and to fight for something, even though it may seem like a closed door, or just to wait for opportunity. So yeah, what does this journey look like? We're going to figure it out together here. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to have, a woman in my life who supports figuring it out. Not a lot of people can say that they have someone in their lives that supports that. So I have parents who support figuring it out. I feel like I'm always in a state of figuring it out. And I look at my life and I have two amazing parents that have been very supportive of me trying to figure it out, and I'm with someone, hopefully soon to be life partner, who helps me figure it out, right? And we figure it out together. So we're going to see where life goes. But to sum all that up, this was a nice little therapeutic session for myself. So if you watch this, great. If you glean something from it, if you gain something from it, awesome. If not, that's all right too. Maybe this video just wasn't meant for you. I'm sitting on the ground right now. I have this cool light that I got, this softbox that I got, and I have this random lighting equipment that I got that I'm just excited about to use it, and having it gives me like a reason to use it, right? So now I'm like seeking opportunities to do stuff. So yeah, life's a moving, life's a grooving. I think that's all I got. I feel better. I don't know about you. I hope you feel a lot better too. But let me go ahead and I'll turn the camera around and I can just show you a little bit of this camera equipment I got here. Oh, all right, we're gonna zoom in on my face. There we are. Let me zoom out real quick. Actually, we're gonna zoom all the way out here. So yeah, look at that light. There you go. that grid is pretty sweet. So I'm learning how to kind of understand lighting better, figuring out. Look, I even have like a hair light right there. I'm trying to step it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more authentic or legit or whatever. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me and for watching. We'll see what happens next on this journey. So appreciate you guys.